Hey guys, as you can see, I am back in Belgium, back in my room, but I still have some behind the scenes from Mexico to share with you. I basically lost everything. Everything that you don't want to lose when you are abroad, I lost it. It happened in 3 different occasions that immediately followed one another. I couldn't believe that the third problem was happening when I had just finished solving the second. I thought it was just a really bad joke, like I couldn't believe it was actually happening. But they do say that bad things come in threes, so as usual, I want to share my mistakes with you guys so that you don't have to make them. And if you make them, that you know what to do to solve the problems, or if you're in a similar situation, what to do. Okay, I will talk you guys through the 3 different events that happened, and I am taking you guys back to Mexico whilst I was trying to solve everything there. Especially solving the third problem was an absolute hell. Let's get into it. It all started in San Cristobal de las Casas at the end of September. I completely caused the first problem myself. I lost my wallet. Very stupid, but anyway, it happened, and what was inside was a lot of documents that I didn't even need at the time. First things first, my debit cards, which weren't even functioning in Mexico. Didn't need to have those on me. My credit card, which had maxed out, like it had reached the monthly limit because we were like the last day of the month. So that wasn't working. Didn't need to have it on me. My driver's license, which obviously I wasn't driving anywhere, I didn't have a car. Didn't need it on me. My identity card, which, yeah, I do keep on me in case I need to identify myself, but that was my national ID. So I basically lost all of that. There wasn't much like cash money in it anyways, so I didn't lose much money in that aspect. But obviously what sucked most was the credit card. I don't know why I even had everything with me. I think it was just a convenient place to keep everything, but turns out it wasn't that convenient after all. As soon as I got back to Belgium, I went to the town hall to get a new driver's license, new ID. Like that was pretty much solved easily, but the credit card, that was a bigger problem. And the solution? Well, to get cash out, my friends would help me. I would just transfer them money and they would just take it out for me. So that was okay. I was lucky that my friend from Belgium was just with me at the time, and she told me about this Revolut credit card. Revolut is a British company, and basically you can go online and register, and immediately you can use an online credit card, which was amazing for all my online transactions and PayPal transactions, for example, buses, accommodation, and Uber rides. This is a prepaid credit card, which means that from my own bank account, I can transfer money onto this account and then just use whatever I put onto it, so it's not directly linked to a bank, which also helps you with fraud and stuff. But what you do need to take into account is that it takes a while for the money to get onto the card. It usually happens overnight, and it doesn't happen on Sundays and holidays. Really important. The physical card would arrive within 10 days to an address of my choice. So I looked at my itinerary where I would be, more or less, in 10 days, and I would be in Campeche. So I just typed in the address of the hostel that I wanted to stay at in Campeche. Obviously booked the hostel, because imagine sending it to a hostel and then there not being any rooms. It only had 6 beds. But yeah, I would say always make sure you have 2 credit cards. Now I thought, oh, I have 3 cards with me, you know, with the maestros and stuff. That didn't end up working. So I thought leaving at home that I would be fine. But if you can, take 2 credit cards when going abroad. Guess what? My credit card just arrived 2 days early, so I can finally get money out and pay for whatever I want, eat whatever I want. I no longer have to worry about that, so I'm super excited. I am definitely having a margarita tonight now that I have my card back. I am at the beautiful main square now, and to activate my new credit card, I had to buy some snacks, of course, what else? Anyway, so that was solved. The moment that I get the cash, the last cash that I need to get through those 10 days. Half of my clothes is being held hostage by the laundry place. So what happened with the clothes? I had to leave half of my clothes behind in San Cristobal de las Casas. My clothes were supposed to be ready to pick up at 12:30 yesterday. I went at 5 and they said, give us 20 minutes. I went back and they were closed, and the guy next door, which was the father, he told me that they would bring the clothes to the hostel, but they never did. So now I'm here with a bag half full and hoping someone in San Cristobal coming to Palenque will be willing to bring me my clothes. I have no idea if they have arrived at the hostel yet. I'm gonna ask around, but honestly, after all the money problems, like, this was the last thing I needed. No one ended up bringing the clothes along with them from San Cristobal to Palenque, so I ended up having to go back for them. After the 4 days that I spent in Palenque, I took 2 colectivos, which both took 2 hours. They were filled to the brim. There were even kids just sitting on the ground, and they would get sick because this road, which I really wanted to avoid taking another time, is the most dangerous road when it comes to accidents, bends, and also robberies. Like, it's not a safe road, but that's why I did it during the day. From Palenque, I could have gone straight to Campeche with a bus of 6 hours, but instead the detour to San Cristobal and then from San Cristobal with the night bus to Campeche took 24 hours. After the 4 hours that I spent on the colectivos, I arrived at San Cristobal. There I bought my ticket at the terminal of the buses for the night bus. And that lady said, okay, make sure you have your passport on you, because on the buses in Chiapas, there are a lot of migration controls, because obviously there's a lot of illegal immigrants from Central America passing through, and there's just a lot of extra checks. Alright, I get to the hostel and there my clothes are waiting for me. My friend had gone and picked them up with the laundry ticket and dropped them back off at the hostel because I was afraid that in the 4 days that I was gone, they would just sell the clothes or use them themselves. They would be like, oh, she doesn't need them anymore. So yeah, I got my friend to take care of that. As I go to put the clothes into my backpack, I think, let me just take out my passport whilst, I'm going through my backpack so that I have it for the bus in the night. But the passport is nowhere to be found. I looked through all my bags at least 3 times. I called up all the accommodations that I stayed at when I was in Palenque, but I couldn't find it anywhere. Obviously, with my bag being only half full, I believe it had some extra space to move around and fall out somewhere. I don't think it was stolen because I just always keep it at the hostel. I never take it out with me. That's why I was I just really thought that it was safe. I did need it one time to get the new credit card, like just to prove my identity, but that was it. I just put it back. Honestly, obviously this happening, like, I just broke. I had been worrying sick for 2 weeks already about money, about half of my stuff, and then the worst possible thing that you can lose is lost. I had a little cry and decided there was no other way about it but to just find a solution. Having been told that they do a lot of migration checks and that you really need the passport to board the bus, I was obviously so scared that I wouldn't be able to get on the bus, that they would check before you got on. But luckily they didn't, and we did get a lot of checks along the way, but for some reason they never asked me for anything. So I was so happy that I arrived in Campeche and that I could just continue my trip and that I didn't have to go to Mexico City already. I did have my appointment set at the embassy to get a new passport for the 5th of November. Inside the passport that I lost was my migration form, so I would need a new one to get back home. My first attempt to do this was in Campeche. I am on my way to the Instituto Nacional de Migración, so the National Immigration Institute, to declare that I have lost my migration form that you get when you enter the country. That basically says when you arrive and like the end date of the 6 months that you can stay.
joke's on me because I was thinking, how can you lose it? Like, you just keep it in your passport. Alright, so they can't help me because I don't have any proof of identity on paper, which means that first I need to go to the embassy, for which I have my appointment on the 5th of November, and afterwards I can go and pick up a new form or something like that at the INME in Mexico City, or I just go 6 to 5 hours early to the airport to arrange it there.
From the south of the country, getting to Mexico City was only possible by bus. Since I had lost all my proof of identity, for example my ID card, my driver's license and my passport, I couldn't board a flight. If you have any three of them, you can board a flight, but I couldn't. So I had to take a 24-hour bus from Mérida to Mexico City. And on this bus, I did get checked for my passport and migration form. I had to tell the officer that I lost it all and that I was on my way to the embassy to get a new one. So I couldn't show her anything and she wasn't very pleased with that. But she did get off the bus and we continued our journey. Thank God. I woke up when we were passing through Puebla, and you might remember that in the Puebla vlog I went to Cholula and I was so excited to see the volcanoes and I didn't really see them. But now on the bus we had the most amazing view of the Popocatépetl volcano and the volcano next to it. These volcanoes divide Puebla and the capital, so if you didn't know, there is actually active volcanoes around Mexico City. That's why I was in an earthquake 2 months earlier. I arrived around noon on the 4th of November and I had my appointment at the embassy the next day at 10 a.m.
Morning! It is the 5th of November, which means it is D-Day. The day where I maybe get a passport, maybe fuck it up. I am now on my way to the bank, first to get cash out at 1, then to be the first in line at the 2nd to do a transfer because the money I've been trying to send isn't going through. I'm gonna make sure that in case it doesn't work, at least I have the cash, but they really want a proof of payment. So that is at 8:30. Then at 9 I need to be at the police station where they will put on a paper that I lost my passport. Simple as that, but apparently only this one person could do it and she could only do it today at 9. And then I have to make sure that I get to the embassy at 10, which is 40 minutes away. I feel like this can only turn out well if the stars align and if I'm super lucky. I haven't had much luck so far, have I? So yeah, wish me luck. If all goes to plan, it should be fine. If not, I can still come back on Monday, hopefully, if they want to make a new appointment. And on Monday I fly out. Mission 1 failed. I couldn't take out money at the first bank, but I did get some breakfast to wait in line and they had a croissant bigger than my head. I mean, I've seen croissants the size of my head, but I haven't seen any that looked that good, that were bigger than my head. Anyway, I now have something that is the size of my head, but that has chocolate as well. Okay guys, so I managed to take out cash from the ATM from the 4th one that I tried, which was the same one as the one I was trying at anyways. And one even said that my PIN was incorrect, which it definitely wasn't. Oh gosh. Anyway, then I went back to the bank with the cash and they managed to do the transfer in like a minute. So now I am on time to go to the police station and hopefully the right person can see me immediately so that I arrive on time at the embassy. Oh gosh. Guess what? I was walking in the complete opposite direction. Now I'm going in the right direction and I will still be on time to catch her when she starts working. Hopefully it will only take a minute as well. Okay, so I eventually arrived at the embassy 15 to 20 minutes late because when I got to the police station, the entrance that I took the night before, that was the right entrance, was blocked because of a protest, because of a girl that's been missing for a really long time. So I had to take another entrance and there was such a long line. Luckily this line was because it hadn't opened yet. It was opening at 9. And as soon as it was 9 o'clock, people did get in quite fast. And eventually it was 9:10 when I made it in. They told me to go to the 3rd floor again, and I was sent around from desk to desk, and eventually I got to the right desk. This guy tells me that denouncing that I have lost something needs to happen online. So I told him, what do you mean online? Like, people, I was here yesterday, people kept saying like, I need to speak to the right person at 9 AM today, and you're telling me it was online all along? Like, well, anyway, so I tried to do it online, but obviously it wasn't working because I'm not a Mexican, and I went back to this guy. Luckily, he took the time to help me and to fill everything out online. By the time we started, it was 9:20. And well, yeah, it took a while. I ordered the Uber, and it said, like, when I ordered it, it said it would arrive a couple of minutes past 10. It took so long for the confirmation to come through and for him to print the document, stamp it. So yeah, by the time I got into the Uber, it said that it would arrive 10:20, which is obviously 20 minutes past my appointment. I already sent an email 20 minutes before 10 to say that I would be late. So I finally got to the embassy, and I give them all the documents that I needed. So the pass photos that I took yesterday for 50 pesos, which was maybe 2 euros. The documents that I had to fill in that I had printed out at a print shop for 2 pesos, which is peanuts. I can't even tell you what it is in euros. Then the proof of payment, which I got from the bank this morning. And eventually, yeah, just the announcement that I lost my passport from the police. And I got it. I'm so happy. Now I need to go to the National Migration Office to also get my migratory, like the paper that you get basically saying how long you can stay in the country. I need to get a replacement for that as well, but I could only do that with a physical passport. So that is my next stop. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I have this already. Okay, let's continue the day with a lot less stress now. Okay, so I made it to the migration office, which is behind me, but they tell me that it takes a month to get to your appointment to get the paper back, and that I should do it at the airport at Terminal 2 entrance K, and I will just have to arrive a lot earlier for my flight to make sure that everything's in order, and they give me this paper, so wish me luck. I mean, it should be fine. If they say it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be fine. But whilst I am in the Polanco neighborhood, I decided to visit the Sumaya Museum, which is famous for the architecture but also holds a lot of art inside. This is a beautiful museum. You can visit it completely for free, and it is like a trip through time. You can see a lot of curious objects from the Middle Ages, also some Asian, and a lot of paintings and sculptures, but personally my favorite level was the one with a lot of Mexican art, for example. Yeah, just covering every single aspect of Mexican culture and through the ages, indigenous, Hispanics, farmers, rich people, everything. I loved it. And you should definitely visit it because it's completely free. Now I'm gonna make my way back to the city center to go and get my laundry. I just had the most amazing Peruvian lunch at the San Juan Mercado, where they have lots of European cheese and meat, and also a lot of strange meat like crocodile and scorpions and a lot of insects as well. I just bought some chapulines, which are crickets, which is a very famous snack here in Mexico, and I'm going to try them. Okay guys, I made it to the airport, and the information desk sent me to the ground floor to door 10 to go to the migration to get the form in order. So let's see how long it's gonna take and if it'll be difficult. The immigration station is on the ground floor at the door number 10, and right in front of it is a printing station where you have to print a copy of your passport and also print out your flight itinerary to prove basically that you haven't overstayed your 180 days. If you can, already print that in advance because it's obviously a lot more expensive here, and then you go to the immigration's office. It wasn't busy at all, it was my turn immediately. You give them the copies and you pay 594 pesos, and that's it. I'm all done now. I can go home, which I'm sad about but also happy about, and the saga will continue once I'm back in Belgium, because I still need to get new passports, identity cards, credit card, and 3 new visas for my next intercontinental trip, which is less than 2 weeks away. So, see you when I'm back in Belgium.
Once I got back here, obviously I had to go to all the appointments to get back my ID and all the rest. And that was another really stressful and expensive day, because obviously I had to get everything in order as soon as possible so that I would be able to leave on my next trip, which is hopefully this week. I still need 3 visas. These problems were obviously a huge challenge that you can definitely miss when you're going abroad for a longer period of time. And it left me really stressed and with a lot of worries a lot of the time behind the scenes, but I didn't want it to spoil anything from like all the good times, so I kept all the good stuff for the vlogs, and I decided to make this separate video to just inform people about what to do and also kind of show the reality. If you travel for a longer period of time, it is quite probable that not everything will go to plan, that sometimes everything that can go wrong will go wrong. And that's also the reality of it, you know. It's not always just a sunny day on the beach. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my next videos. I'm in the process of not getting 1 or 2, but 3 visas to go to certain countries in Western Africa within the next week. So subscribe if you don't want to miss those videos. I have also been asked to guide groups in Lapland again this winter, and I will be spending New Year's there. If you're interested in seeing that, the Northern Lights, the snow, how can you work there, all my tips to go there, make sure you subscribe. Okay, I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!